All right, so today we're looking at properties of exponents part 2. So looking over this, we're going to do a quick review. All right, so let's look at this first example. All right, 3x to the 7th over 9x to the 4th. Remember, with fractions, we divide the numbers just like normal. So 3/9 reduces to 1/3. All right, and then our rule for quotients, for dividing, says take big exponent minus little exponent. So 7 minus 4 is 3, and the big one was on the top, so it stays on the top. So x cubed. All right, so 1x cubed over 3, or we could just say x cubed over 3. Next, I want to look at this one, because it looks big and mean and scary, but it really isn't that bad if we take it one piece at a time. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at these power to a powers. You see this 2 and this 3. So we're going to actually want to multiply those in. So we're going to distribute those to the exponent of everything in parentheses. All right, so this guy didn't change at all. So we're just going to rewrite them in our answer. So x, y, z squared. This is a y.
Mr. Matthews, please come to the main office. Bob Matthews, please come to the main office.
I don't know if you heard that. That was Mr. Lowry paging someone to the office. All right, next, let's work on distributing. So x to the 3 times 2 power. So x to the 6th, y squared, z squared. This is a 2. Finish closing my parentheses. All over, distribute my 3. So x cubed, y cubed. All right, next we need to do our multiplication on top. So remember, when we multiplying numbers with exponents, you add the exponents. So x to the first plus x to the first times x to the 6th. So this is x to the 1 plus 6 power. So this is x to the 7th. Now our y's, y to the 1 plus 2 power. So this is y to the 3rd. Z squared times z squared gives us z to the 4th. All over x cubed, y cubed. Now I need to simplify. I have x's on top, I have x's on bottom. So big minus little, 7 minus 3 is 4. The big one was on top, so we stay on top. So x to the 4th. I have y to the 3rd over y to the 3rd. That cancels out because anything divided by itself is 1. And then I'm left with z to the 4th that cancels out with nothing. I have nothing left on the bottom, so I can either write this over 1 or I just write it by itself. I don't even need that 1. All right, so those were quick reminders. Now let's look at our next property. All right, next property we're looking at is negative exponents, and that says for any real number a and any integer n, a minus n is equal to 1 over a to the n, and 1 over a to the negative n equals a to the n. All right, so I know this can be a little bit confusing, so let's look at this big key idea here. And this says move the term with the negative exponent to the other part of the fraction and get rid of the negative sign. So if you have a negative exponent on top, you're going to move that to the bottom. If you have a negative exponent on the bottom, you're going to move it to the top. All right, so let's look at how we do this. So I have x to the negative 3rd. If I want to write this as a fraction, I'd say x to the negative 3rd over 1. But I don't like negative exponents. So I'm going to take this piece that has the negative exponent and I'm going to flip it to the bottom of the fraction. So this then becomes 1 over x cubed. All right, same thing with this one. This is y negative 2 over 1. We're going to flip this to the bottom of the fraction, so this becomes 1 over y squared. All right, here's our first one where we have a negative on the bottom. We don't like negative exponents, so we're going to flip this entire piece up to the top. So this becomes w to the 5th over 1. But anything over 1, we don't even really need to say over 1, so we just say w to the 5th. All right, next, I've got a number up here already. Do I flip that to the bottom? Well, no, because this 2 has got a little ninja 1 for an exponent, and it's positive, so it doesn't need to go anywhere. So all we have to do here is we're going to take the piece that's negative, just the piece, just the term with the negative exponent, and we're going to move it to the other part of the fraction. So this then becomes 2 times x to the 5th. All right, our next one. You notice they both have negative exponents. That means we need to move them both. So the one from the top is going to come to the bottom. The one from the bottom is going to go to the top. So in effect, we're going to flip this entire fraction over. So I'm going to have x squared over y cubed. All right, next one. Key thing to notice here, this is a -3. Am I allowed to have a -3 in a fraction? Absolutely. It's an exponent that I don't want to have negative. But this -3 has got an exponent of a +1, so it doesn't need to go anywhere. So let's write our fraction bar out here, and let's write down our pieces. So the -3, it's good to go. This 2 also has a positive exponent, so it's fine. All right, looking next, x cubed has a positive exponent. It can stay. Y to the -6. Ah, that's a problem. That needs to go to the bottom. So y to the -6. All right, now let's looking at our bottoms. We already said our 2 was okay. It can stay. Ooh, a to the -2. Yep, that's going to go back to the top. So a squared. Ooh, b cubed. It's got a positive exponent. It can stay right where it is. All right, did you notice the mistake I made? Maybe you didn't. Look right here, this y. It was on the top. It was negative. I moved it to the bottom. Did you notice that I forgot to make it positive? Always watch that. When you move it from the top to the bottom or from the bottom to the top, the sign changes. All right, so let's simplify this and get it in mathematical, grammatically correct order. All right, which means that we need to put it in alphabetical order. So on top, I'm going to have -3a squared x squared over 2b cubed y to the 6th. Is it wrong to leave it in this form? Nope. That's absolutely fine. We said it before, multiplication, the order doesn't matter. It's just preferred to have it in the correct order. And you see the important note, this does not apply to negative numbers. This is reminding us that this -3 right here is absolutely fine. You don't flip it to the other side of the fraction. All right, next, the zero exponent property. The zero exponent property says that anything raised to the power of 0 equals 1. So that means a to the 0 equals 1. Y to the 0 equals 1. -234 to the third power to the 0 power equals 1. Pi to the 0 power is 1. -2.7 to the 0 power is 1. -2.7 to the 0 power is -1. All right, now follow me here. This piece is to the 0 power, that's 1. This is outside the parentheses, so this says make it 1. That says make it negative. All right, make sure you don't let that trip you up. Everybody good? Still breathing? I know this is a lot. You got it though. And that was it. You guys did great, I am sure. All right, well, if you have any questions, send me an email and I will be happy to answer it, or you can send me a message through Canvas. Thanks very much. Have a great day.